What's happening, folks? 808 Hot Takes. We're back. This is our 4th episode, James.
Ooh, we got a streak going.
Yeah, we haven't been canceled yet. I'm proud of us.
I'm trying.
Yes. This is the comedy podcast, the only sports and comedy podcast here in Hawaii. Taught to you by local comedians who used to play a little ball, and now we just here talking shit. That's what we do. So remember, if you didn't laugh with us today, well, there's something wrong with you. Kicking off right into the show, first quarter, NFL action. We do our prognostications, and sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong. It is hard to get both of us wrong. In fact, of all the games, there was only 2 that we both got wrong on. We disagree a lot on different deals, but getting us both is hard to do. But unfortunately, my Bengals were able to do it this week by losing to the Texans, and I didn't get upset. This game had trap game written all over it, James. It had trap game all over it.
Plus, I think you're okay with C.J. Stroud.
Yes, because he's an Ohio State guy. Yes,
so. And I'm okay because DeMeco Ryans.
Yes.
Black coach. For
yep.
me, former Niners defensive coordinator, so I'm cool with that too.
Yep. So shout out to the Texans for getting a win. They're much improved. Rookie of the year for sure. Some people are talking MVP for CJ Stroud.
Legit.
We'll see. The reason I'm not concerned about the Bengals is because we've got a gauntlet coming up. And I knew we weren't going to win out the season, so I'm okay with us losing this game because it wasn't like a pivotal, like crazy game. Like now we got the Ravens tomorrow night, then we got Pittsburgh right after that, then a couple more, then we got a little lax, but then we got all big games: Kansas City, Pittsburgh again, Cleveland again, and so it was just like okay. We dropped this one, but now we get back on another 4-game winning streak, and all is good in the world, right?
In my experience with Joe Cool, is that he steps up to the competition.
Yeah.
And, man, so far this whole season, the best I've seen him was against my Niners.
That's for sure. And then the other game that got us was the Saints. Like, we didn't think that Josh Dobbs, he don't have no eyebrows. And he's only been there 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But apparently he's a miracle worker and has got the Vikings rolling. And
not only a miracle worker, he's a genius.
He is a genius. He could be like a rocket scientist and like literally fly with NASA. In fact, there's memes out there of a Disney movie of him having to choose between going to Mars and the Super Bowl.
And then he goes, wait, I'm the genius. You will have Super Bowl on Mars.
Bam. That's a lot of the cost of flights went up right there. That's insane. So James ended up 7-7 this week. Hey, above 500 or so,
at 500.
At 500, but your record overall is above 500, and I went 10-4. Somebody's better. So
and the weird part is that the picks that I lost, I believe, were the ones that I chose first. And you go, I'll take the opposite.
Yeah. I try to give us a back and forth. Okay, now you choose this one. Okay, now I gave you your chance.
And I blew it.
Yeah, you blew it, especially with that Giants Cowboys game. I was like, man,
I was reaching.
You own something.
I was reaching.
Now, if they had Daniel Jones, I could have understood why you was thinking the upset, possibly division rival, that kind of deal. But Danny DeVito?
But I should have listened to you. It's the hype machine
that
you were talking about. And I'm looking, I was like, they dominated the crap out of the Giants, and the Cowboy fans are just having a parade right now.
Yep. They're good. They're going to win their next 3 games. Or actually, no, they're going to win this week, and then they'll let everybody down on Thanksgiving probably. I don't even know who they're playing. But they'll get everybody, look at Dak. I need him to do another 400-yard, 3-4 touchdown game today or this week too. That'd be great for my fantasy football team.
Oh, he did really well. 400 yards and was it 4 or 5 touchdowns?
4 thrown, 1 rushing.
Wow.
Yeah. So, fantasy football, Dak, I need you to keep doing your deal. Other teams are are starting to get the injury bug.
Yeah.
Browns, we just announced before we recorded, that Deshaun Watson out for the season. He's got to have rotator cuff surgery or whatever on his throwing shoulder. And it's funny, we were talking about Josh Dobbs and how, he was balling with the Cardinals, even though they didn't have any weapons. Mm-hmm. And then he's been balling with the Vikings when Kirk Cousins went down. Mm-hmm. You know where he spent spring and the preseason?
No, don't tell me.
He was with the Browns up until, I think the second preseason game. And then they traded him to the Cardinals.
Wow.
And so, wouldn't they like to have him right now?
Okay, but they'll have that practice player that they bumped up.
They got
that beat the Niners.
Yeah, he was just falling down and throwing stuff in the air, and he tried to lose them that game 9 times against the Niners.
Oh, so that's Chubbs and now
Watson. Yeah. So
wow. Browns being Browns.
Yep. Good luck with massage surgery, Deshaun. I didn't know what massage surgery was, but you get it. Cool. Also, other changes in the NFL. The Bills have fired their offensive coordinator. This is not his fault. It's not his fault. Your quarterback threw 9 interceptions, and they were just like, "Oh, it's the offensive coordinator." It's like, no, it's your quarterback.
I watched the game. I like how the commentators always put it on the coach. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where that narrative comes from. It's like they go, well, was it Holmgren had Brett Favre?
Yeah.
And Holmgren had to dial him back, and because that's what's needed here in Buffalo is you have a slinger, you need a coach that can tell him, hey, you can't do it all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, it's the coach's fault. Obviously.
I didn't see the first fumble. Was running around picking up kids, but the second fumble, clearly it just fell out of his hand. Also, I did see the first interception where he tried to throw that ball through a brick wall. And it was like, oh, Davis dropped it. No, Davis could not catch. No one could catch that. So Bills fired their offensive coordinator, even though Josh Allen is trash. Well, I wouldn't say trash, but he tries to do too much. Diggs has been quiet, James. You think he's leaving in the offseason?
He should. I mean, I don't know. It depends on. He should look and see what they do, because he obviously is a player that teams want.
Okay.
So he holds the chips in my book. So let's see what the Bills do in the offseason, whether they bring in help, or they just look like they're not doing anything, and then be like, all right, I'm out.
No. If you go back to 808 Hot Takes. This is our third or fourth iteration of it. It used to be a radio show on Hawaii Sports Radio Network. Shout out to them. They still rolling. But I'm no longer with that company. But if you go back to some of those older podcasts and our older radio show, I said, hey, with Josh Allen, he's losing his quarterback whisperer guy. I don't trust him anymore. This was a couple years ago because he's losing his quarterback whisperer guy. Everybody was just like, no, he's elite. All the NFL prognosticators, no, he's elite now. He got those kinks worked out, whatever. His quarterback whisperer guy is actually the head coach of the Giants. And I could see him getting fired.
Yeah.
And then maybe going back to the Bills maybe next year. But, as of right now.
That makes sense. So as a head coach doing all the yelling, no, you're no good. Just go sit up in the booth, and every now and then,
focus.
Hey, you're okay.
Yeah, he was his whisperer. He was his whisperer. The guy that's yelling and breaking clipboards and smashing tablets all the time was the Josh Allen whisperer.
He ain't whispering no more.
No.
But that makes sense because Tua wasn't as good as he is this year without Mike. And as good as Purdy, everybody's saying Purdy is, I don't think he would do the same if he was playing for Carolina Panthers.
Oh, yeah.
So Shanahan is definitely bringing him along.
Yeah.
That makes sense. The coach is a key part. So maybe
to certain deals. Hey, certain people.
Good point.
They work with systems. Work. We've seen a lot of talented people go into the league and not be in the right system.
Yeah.
And so they wash out. You think if you look at Tom Brady all those Super Bowls, all those yards, all those accolades. Do you think he had the arm strength of Jamarcus Russell? Hell no.
Up here.
Yeah.
And work ethic.
Work ethic up there, and the right coaching, the right system.
And and GM, that they put the right people around him.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's all got to be a perfect melting pot.
Yeah, because Marcus Mariota just hasn't. He just keeps going to this team and then just falling apart.
I thought he was doing well with Tennessee until Vrabel came.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, now he's not a quarterback anymore.
Yeah, Fisher was his guy.
Yeah, and since then he hasn't gotten the right system and the right situation yet.
Yeah.
I don't think he was actually doing that bad in Atlanta, but they were like, oh, we're going to bring up the second string guy, the guy who he picked up, and now he's not doing anything. He's been benched for Heineke, and Atlanta still isn't doing anything. Coaching. Yeah. The coaching is that's the FedEx kid is ruining quarterbacks in Atlanta now. So
and it's like what you say with Arizona, coaching from the beginning when they did a dude wrong, and then just like the curse of
they did Wilkes wrong. He's a part of that lawsuit, and Wilkes is now y'all D coordinator.
And he's doing a lot better now that he's downstairs watching the game. Oh my goodness.
All right, as we roll into the second quarter of 808 Hot Takes, we switch it over to NCAA football.
Wait a minute, we're just not going to talk about the Niners?
What about the Niners? What happened?
The Niners dominated what was considered the hottest team in NFL at the time.
No, my Bengals were considered the hottest team. Even though Jacksonville had more wins, my Bengals were considered the hottest team in the NFL at the time.
No, well, so the 5 wins in a row, I would say, is the hot team.
Got you. We had 4 in a row. That's fine. But our wins were against real people like y'all. Jacksonville's wins was like against Indianapolis.
Okay, so anyway, we dominated them, but now that we have Chase Young, our defensive line just looked crazy. And I think that I was complaining about why taking O-linemen, but it looks like they put us in an easier situation.
Trent Williams came back too. He was mauling people.
Yeah, as a fellow left tackle, I see what you're doing and I love it.
Yeah.
He had a DB running away from him.
Yeah.
He's like, why I got to block when he just run away from him? He looked like a pimp who's walking down the track and the hose is just bleeding.
You better have my money. Through rain, through sleet, or snow.
Yeah. I don't know if it was, what is the dude on NFL Live, the white guy?
Jeff Saturday?
Orlovsky?
Orlovsky.
I think it was him. He was saying, you know what happened in this game that he loved to see when something like the first 2 people you see come off the bus, that's who you see. Okay, that's our leaders or whatever. And he said the first 2 people that's always leading that walkout with the Niners and has that big boom box, Debo and Trent. And they're always the 2 in the front. And they both were injured, so the Niners lost their leadership. Now they have it, and man, it looks good. I pray for health and nobody get injured, because that's the team that can win the Super Bowl.
We'll see you at the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. Make sure you guys knock off Kansas City.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure.
All right, second quarter. My bad. I had to put that out there.
It's okay, because we transitioned at the beginning of the second quarter into you guys' old coach, Harbaugh. NCAA football. He got suspended like right after we got done recording last week.
Yeah.
They did it on a Friday. It was like, how you get fired on your day off? But a lot of people, obviously Michigan people, were upset that you would suspend him right before a big game against Penn State,
which they still won.
Hey, that game was whack though. There was like 58 rushes. They just kept each quarterback. I don't think any quarterback had over. The Michigan quarterback had 11 pass attempts.
It was like, it wasn't 2023. It was 1923.
Yeah, it was just the forward pass has been invented, right? This ain't rugby.
Which is why I love, and the afternoon comes around and the Pac-12 games come on. And I'm like, hey, offensive, Utah and Washington, let's go.
No defense whatsoever.
But I know Michigan alums are very angry, especially the ones that are analysts. Yeah. They're saying, okay, they talk to Woodson, they talk to Desmond, and they're all like, okay, see what's going to happen when we start showing you who else does that.
Yeah, but also there's some things that have not come out yet. That they're just like, oh, there's some serious smoking gun stuff.
Yes.
That is just like,
I'm not a fan of either of these
It's
schools,
just like,
so
yo.
I'm happy for it. Go, fight.
It is just like, okay, we understand that everybody's trying to bend the rules a little bit, but what you doing here is way above and beyond.
I'm gonna get my popcorn and ready to watch the
Yeah.
news, man.
Yeah. So yeah, it's bad up there. It's bad up there. So it's kind of like one of those, hey, take this punishment and just deal with it. Otherwise, the dirt's gonna come out.
Dirt.
You don't want the dirt to come out because you up here on your high horse saying, "Oh, you guys are just after Michigan." It's just like, oh, when the real stuff come out, y'all gonna be like, "Oh, well, you know, hey, if you're not cheating, you're trying, right?" It's like, nah, man.
They just turn to like what Eddie Murphy would turn. Okay.
No, it wasn't me.
No, now they have to admit it. Okay, we'll take our medicine.
Yeah.
Don't tell about that other stuff. We'll take our medicine.
So he's suspended. Some people are still saying that they shouldn't be allowed in the college football playoffs, but that's getting. I think that's overreaching.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when this smoking gun stuff come out, it might not be overreaching. It really might not.
I tell you what, it doesn't matter. Georgia's gonna win.
I don't think so. I think if Georgia goes up against Michigan or Ohio State, they're not going to win.
Man, always
Plain
they
and simple.
keep
I said
saying
it.
I've
I said it
never-
here because those two teams have the physicality to hang with Georgia. Georgia does not have the firepower that they did last year on the outsides that they
I hear
used
that
to.
every time an SEC goes up against a Big 12 or Big 16, whatever big they are this time. It's the same thing. It just can't keep up with the speed of the SEC. But anyways.
Yeah, we shall see. We shall see. Speaking of the SEC, Texas A&M got rid of their coach, Jimbo Fisher.
Poor guy, because he's such a cool name for a coach.
He got a cool name. He's a dickhead, but he's got a cool name.
All I said was cool name. I didn't say anything about personality.
Yeah.
And you could be right.
Yeah, he's done a lot of shady stuff in the past.
Yeah.
And
And a lot of finger pointing. Hey, they're cheating.
Yeah. He was kind of the Harbaugh of the SEC.
Yeah. He kept talking trash about Saban, and look
yeah.
what Saban did to him.
Yeah, very unliked. But this was kind of back when you couldn't pay athletes,
Yeah.
and so now you can pay them, and he's still not winning.
Yeah.
So hey,
And Texas A&M has a good tradition, of being competitive, and now they're just like, no. But then you're in the SEC.
No.
You're not
Yeah.
in the big. You're not in the Big 8.
yeah. Oh well. But as you guys are watching here, 808 Hot Takes, and you know me and James, we smart people. We smart people. Put up a clip the other day about how we predicted that UH was going to win this week.
Okay.
Yes, and what happened, James?
W.
Duh.
And Hawaii beat Air Force, who was 2 weeks ago ranked nationally.
Yeah, they were undefeated. And I said right here on this show, hey, they're going to come out here, the weather, the women, the weed, I don't know what they was doing.
It was flying high.
but you got the 3 W's, the weather, women, weed, and Hawaii walked away with the dub, the fourth one, and y'all walked away with the L.
And Hawaii got the trophy back.
Yes.
Because some schools, they have a trophy, a rivalry trophy. Hawaii hasn't had it for a while, and they finally got that trophy
Been like
back.
9 years or something like that. Yeah.
Finally got, because they don't play it every year, so they got that trophy back. Hopefully they hold on to it.
Yep. And now switching over. Oh, no, there was one more upset, but not really an upset. So Kansas lost, and they had been ranked 13. But Kansas has sucked for like 30 years.
Yeah.
So this was like the first year that they had a winning record in a really long time.
Well, they also beat Oklahoma.
Yeah, and so, but now they're falling to 7-3. That was the only other like real upset this weekend.
I didn't even know Kansas still doesn't have that big, giant, fat coach anymore.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, wait, what is this Kansas team?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he died. So I don't know.
He only has one leg.
Yeah, something. He's lost.
He got the sugar.
Yeah, he has a reality show on Lifetime or A&E where they got to bulldoze his house to get him to the doctor.
My 600-pound life.
Yeah,
I like that when he was yelling at his players, his stomach would go, "Hey, you, stop doing that. Stop going offside."
yeah. Yeah, I know we make fun, but it's weird because people like that always have, like, they're always in, like, a serious relationship. And
I know, and I'm single.
yeah. I'm like, come on, James. Maybe you should get bigger.
Yeah, I'm not big enough, apparently.
That's what the deal
Yeah,
is.
they do say size matters.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think you need an enabler like that. I don't, because that's not a healthy relationship.
I might just get into a relationship just for the jokes.
Yeah, bam.
And the
There you
material.
go. There
Because
it is.
apparently,
There it
comics use them.
Oh yeah, I've been doing a whole lot of relationship and kid material lately, which the early part of my career I did not, because
Yes.
I was for the streets.
For the streets.
Yes.
Not for the street, but for the streets.
I was for the streets.
Oh.
And then my daughter got older, and I realized, I should set an example.
Because she is not for the streets.
Yeah, I do not want her to be for the streets.
As a girl dad myself, I agree 1,000%.
So, it is what it is. Yeah. So, anyway, though, moving on to NCAA hoops. There was one big matchup last week, Duke versus Arizona. Some blue bloods were in there, and Arizona was ranked 13th, and they pretty much handled Duke, who was ranked 2nd. It was pretty nice. It was like, okay. And then we told you about the Michigan State, how they were ranked 4th, and they lost to some nobody school. Well, this week they were ranked 18th, and they lost to Duke. So,
Interesting.
Yeah, so they're going to be not ranked next week.
Duke also is not going to be the same Duke because they don't have Coach K anymore.
Yeah, it's his predecessor, but it's like his second year. So it's like now he's kind of making it more his team. And from what I hear, they've got the number one guy coming out of the draft this year. I don't know his name, but I think he's a white boy. And I think he's like all world. So like they're super hyping him up. He's like, it's the white boy who can hoop hoop. And he went to Duke, of course. So yeah.
Yeah, that's very Duke on par with Duke players.
Yeah.
There's probably some kind of Shishkavoskevich or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Or Reddick.
Yeah. Or one of the there was brothers Plumleys. There was like 6 Plumleys.
You know why it'll be Pumle?
Yes. Smells good. It's great flour. Anyway, Duke, Kansas and Kentucky also played last night. So it was a very blue blood heavy early part of the season. And Kansas, the number 1 ranked team in the land, handled Kentucky. So it was closer than people thought, though, because Kentucky was ranked in the teens. And Kansas, it was a close game. It was only like 4 points. So shout out to them. Shout out to Men's Hoops is back. We'll pay more attention to them when football is over. So right now we're just going to give you the big games.
Yeah, which is what we normally do. But also University of Hawaii played University of Hawaii Hilo last night. And University of Hawaii, I mean, it's 2 different divisions. I think UH Hilo is Division 2. So they don't have the same recruiting as University of Hawaii does. But that 7-footer for University of Hawaii looks pretty good, man. Like Hawaii got a big man inside.
Is he Victor Wembanyama good though?
Oh, nobody is Wembanyama good. Nobody is that. But he looks athletic. He struggles with his free throws, but I think to be in the conference that UH is in, to have a 7-footer that almost always puts you, top 3 of the conference.
Gotcha.
So
Good stuff.
Hawaii could be competing, man.
Hey, side note, for all you people out there, just be like, man, you play basketball. Why can't you make a free throw? When you're 7 foot, the ball is like a softball in your hand, and trying to get that to go is shut up.
Yeah.
Y'all couldn't make a free throw in front of 10 people, let alone 10,000 people.
That's what it is too.
with the pressure of the whole deal.
No, go run, and then be tired, and then have to calm down, and then shoot a free throw. That's not that easy.
Yep, at all.
Yeah.
So, as we continue with the hoops, we do transition to the third quarter, which is for the ladies.
Ladies.
The ladies. And last week we talked about LSU. They got their brand spanking new locker room, and then they went out and lost to Colorado. Got whooped up on by Colorado. And they've played 2 games since then, James. And the next team they played, they beat, hang on, let me check my notes here. I don't want to screw it up. They beat Queens College. I didn't know Queens had it. I thought it was just a borough in New York, but apparently they got a college there.
I was thinking it was like an all-gay men's team.
Oh, they might. It might have been some of that trans stuff that they're like, yeah, all gay men. Yeah,
Shoot the three!
Yeah.
Yeah!
Either way, those gay dudes got whooped up on 112 to 55.
Wow.
Yeah, so they took it out on them.
Wow.
Yeah, and then LSU played Kent State and beat them 109 to 79. I think that was on yesterday.
I'm surprised Kent State got 79.
Yeah, so bounce back. Talk about that for the reigning national championships or national champion women's team. I wonder if Mulcahy let them back in their locker rooms, or she was just like, y'all not going home. Y'all staying on the bus until y'all
locked out.
Y'all get a couple of wins.
Yeah.
There was another big game last week. Number 3 ranked Iowa played number 8 Virginia Tech and beat them by 4. So that's been the biggest women's matchup so far as ranked teams and that whole deal. And then UConn, who's ranked number 2, lost.
Ooh.
Yes.
So Iowa moving up.
Yes, they lost.
Virginia Tech won't drop too far down.
Yeah, I don't even know who UConn lost to. I took some screenshots, but I lost it. I don't know. Either way, they lost. So, it is what it is. I'm sure Gino Auriemma is very upset at that, and they don't get in their locker room either.
No.
He's always yelling at those ladies. So, we'll see what happens with the Huskies.
And we'll see what happens with that Iowa. What's her name? The white girl.
I don't know. I know exactly what she looks like.
Yeah,
she looks like Trevor Lawrence for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So we'll call her Trevor Lawrence.
But she's got dark hair.
Yeah.
Her and Trevor could be twins.
Yeah.
I'll do some comparison up on the CGI screen here so you guys can see what we're talking about.
I bet you just click Iowa women's basketball and her face comes up.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Yes. Now look up
No,
Trevor Lawrence.
not gonna do that to
It's
you.
the same person.
Yeah. Yeah, we never see them in the same place.
Yep. One's hooping in college
Interesting.
as a woman, and the other one's playing on Sundays
You
as
figure
a
there'd
man.
be more dunking.
Yeah, you know, you would,
Joanna Wallace.
but he don't want to blow his cover.
Ah, perfect.
See.
Perfect.
I get it. And finally, in women's hoops, the Cavinder twins have switched schools again. Again. So these are two. I'm gonna talk white guy right now.
Oh,
Okay,
dude.
These are two little blonde hotties that took the world by storm when the NIL deals came out because they were like getting all the money and they're like huge on TikTok.
No
They're
way.
They're like okay basketball players, but like. They keep switching schools, and then they tried to get a deal at Miami, and Miami's going to pay them like millions of dollars just to play. And then the deal fell through, so now they're going to play at Baylor.
Baylor.
Baylor,
Dude,
yeah.
I'm closer to Baylor than I am with Miami.
Yeah, we are, yeah.
Wow.
So they're going to play at Baylor. The one girl, I guess the more popular one, or maybe the better one, was like, hey, last rodeo, Baylor.
Dead ass, dude.
Dead ass, bro.
Wow. I tried
So-
to use some modern.
Yeah,
That's lit.
I don't know if white people took dead ass yet though.
Oh, I've heard.
White people took dead ass
Come on,
from black
man.
people.
Because dead
We
ass.
can't have nothing for like a week.
I was gonna say dead ass is not new.
Yeah.
They're starting to. They're starting to get it.
Yeah.
They listen. They listen to the music. Listen to
well.
the music.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember seeing their TikTok and like, this is what they do.
Yeah.
That's what they do. And now they transferred to Baylor.
Yeah.
Well, Florida. I guess they're staying within the states that they need
Ain't
to
no
stay.
state taxes, and those country schools with the oil money and the whatever, they pay. The cattle money, they pay.
Yeah.
So, hey, make your money. I don't think they're going to get no big WNBA contracts.
No,
So-
they're not known
cashing
for their
in.
play.
Yeah.
That's part of Miami. Was like, you're not helping us with the W's.
Yeah.
So thanks for the ticket sale bump, but
Yeah.
no W's.
Give us our bikinis back.
Yeah.
Either way, so we're gonna wrap up the third quarter with a story that I'm sure James is familiar with. His favorite all-time soccer player. Just kidding.
I was like, Messi is not a woman.
Miss Rapinoe has officially retired from soccer everywhere.
Megan.
Yes,
You get more white lady name than Megan.
Rapinoe. Yeah.
So Megan Rapinoe is retiring because she suffered. Well, she was on her way, to retiring, but she had an injury. I'm not sure exactly, but she needed to be helped off the field. So it was kind of like, I guess that's it. Which was sad because for her to go out that way, instead of having, like a hero's send off. Thank you.
It was in the championship game, but
Yeah.
So yeah.
I guess that is a hero's send off. You get carried off, your peers. And the people carrying the stretcher. But yeah, I mean, great career. She's done a lot for American world football. So it's good, and she's fought for women's equality as far as pay goes and representation, and so she's done a lot and she's made a big difference. So
Shout out to her.
kudos.
Not like that Hope Solo chick. Boo.
Well, she did pose nude, so that was good for the dudes, I guess.
But she also beat up her family.
Well, I think, so she's like a dude.
Yeah. Hanging with those NFL players.
Because Hope Solo is for the streets.
Anyway, so fourth quarter. Here we are. Four. We got it up.
Fourth down.
In a story we alluded to a couple weeks ago, but had to get cut out because we were cracking jokes.
Literally cut out.
Literally cut out.
Wow. It was slashed from the episode.
Yes. So, unfortunately, the hockey player died, and as we were talking about on the episode, it was an accident and unfortunate situation. But what got cut out of the episode was that the guy who slashed him was a black guy, and there was all this racial element to it, and people were saying he did it on purpose and whatever, and all types of deals. I don't know how you slash somebody's throat with a skate on purpose as the collision.
Yeah. I mean, I seen the
deal.
video where he got bumped, and then he kind of tipped over. I don't know if I fell out of the screen, but tipped over, and his leg came up, and the other guy was coming this way, and he got right into the skate.
So they're trying all these regulations to figure out what can be done to prevent this and what they needed to be wearing and what they have to wear and whatnot. Regardless of all that, old boy was arrested.
Yeah, it's weird.
I was having a hard time finding details on this story. So ESPN put out hockey player involved with such and such under arrest for second-degree murder, but they would not release his name. I'm like, a couple weeks ago we already knew his name from the incident and the whole deal, but now it's silent and now it's quiet. I don't understand. What in the investigation made them say, "Oh, now we got to go arrest this dude"?
Well, first of all, it happened in Europe, so it's not like an America thing. So that's probably why you have a hard time finding stories on it. But the stories that were coming out was that he was the most penalized dude in this league, which is a minor league in Europe. And I think they're going out for that. But my opinion is, if he's arrested for it, that means he premeditated. And a lot of other professional hockey players are standing up, are speaking up on his behalf, saying, I don't think he woke up and said, I want to slash a dude in the throat.
Yeah.
It's, the sport. So an accident happened, I feel. Unfortunately, somebody died. And it's very sad for the family.
Yeah.
But
Murder?
yeah. So the other thing, too, I know with hockey is when they use their stick to hit each other, then they get arrested for that because that's a weapon.
Gotcha.
I've seen where a hockey player in America got arrested for that because you're attacking somebody with a weapon.
Yeah.
But I don't think he meant, unless there was eyes or witnesses there that saw him go.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I tried to look up the footage. I can't find the footage online anymore, which understandable. You take, you block out stuff like that. I get it. Cool. Yeah, I didn't go into the deep dive of the dark web and all that stuff because I was just like, do I really need to see a guy die? I'm okay.
Well, the footage that they did have was kind of like somebody was in the stands far away, so you actually don't see any cut. You just see them, boom, and the guy goes down, and that's it.
Yeah. The footage that we did see this week, there's been a lot of fights in the NBA.
I know.
They've been like scrapping.
Is it this tournament?
First of all, I don't understand this tournament.
Yeah.
Why a mid-season tournament and then like not all the games that they're playing are part of the tournament?
Yeah.
Is going from November to December, and it's very weird setup. I think I'm gonna just wait to the end and figure out what's happening. Several teams are out. It's a one and done deal.
Yeah.
So because I was confused on that at first. I was like, okay, if it's one and done, does that team get like a month off now? But but I guess I guess they play other scheduled games in there. They just don't get to advance into that.
So like in world soccer, especially in Europe. You play for let's say you play for the English Premier League, and then you have your season with that. But during that same season, you're part of the European League. So you have games where you play against a team from Germany and a team from Spain.
Gotcha.
And then so you have leagues within your league and outside. So it's
gotcha.
There's a lot of seasons involved, and I think what NBA is trying to do, because players take breaks. Or was it workload management?
Load management. Yeah.
So they're trying to make it interesting because we only watch, like myself. I love basketball, but I'm not watching NBA until the playoffs.
I'll watch here or there throughout the week.
Yeah.
Because during football season, I tend to watch the NBA on Tuesdays and Wednesdays because that's when games aren't on for football.
Yeah. Well, Colin Cowherd says it too. He's like, I don't miss work during the football season. I take a vacation right after, and then I come back and we talk about the ending of the NBA season.
Yeah. So, but for me, as far as paying attention to the NBA, once Christmas comes around, I feel like that Christmas break of when they have the NBA games and Christmas Day, watching all that stuff, and after the bowl games finish for college, that's when I get into the NBA, especially February, All-Star Weekend, all that whole deal. That's when I start to really get into it. But right now, these October, November games, I'm paying much attention.
So that's what I think it is. The NBA is trying to figure a way to get people to watch.
Yeah.
So
fighting is a big deal of it. I don't think they want the fights, but it is bringing eyes to these games.
And they should allow the fights.
They should. NBA was better in the 80s and 90s where it was a physical.
Yeah, it's just way too many technicals given out and guys getting kicked out of games.
Yeah. But so I did a deep dive into the numbers, James. Because I feel like the NBA plays too many games. 83 is too much. It's kind of like baseball where we just talked about how we don't watch all these games. There's too much going on. Right. So, yes, you got the guys doing load management.
Yeah, and baseball isn't a heavy stamina type thing where you're
the travel is beat down on them. But yeah, they're not physically exerting themselves like they are on the NBA. Yeah. So, regardless, I did the deep dive, and if you take away 14 games from the NBA schedule, they no longer have to do any back-to-backs. Like the schedule will work out to where everybody was rested and you have a couple days between games, and it would just, the numbers would work to where they're not doing any back-to-backs. So it's not as hard on everything, and you don't have as much load management of these guys and that kind of deal. But then I was like, why don't they just lessen it by 14 games? Then that's where the deep dive happened when I went into the revenue.
There you go.
So each of these home games for a stadium is potentially $20 million.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was like you do that 20 million times 14, and the owners is like, nah, player.
Yeah.
Nah. You ain't getting rid of these 14 games of my get down. And I was like, ooh, yeah, that's a big economy right there.
Yeah.
Of it to get, okay, I get it. But they should have collective bargained that back in the 80s when they had the chance.
Well, back then
it wasn't as big.
Well, not only wasn't it as big, it wasn't as physical. Like, I don't mean physical as like they didn't get down, but like I think today's it's faster. They're stronger. Back then, they were basketball players were a little lighter. They weren't really like aggressive like football. Like there was nobody that looked like LeBron. Now you have a few guys that are like that.
Yeah, that's funny you say that. That's an argument that I always use in that Jordan LeBron debate. People are just like, oh, Jordan was the best. He was such and such. Like, look, don't get me wrong. Jordan was an upper echelon athlete. But at the time when he played, each team had one, maybe two upper echelon athletes. Or talking athletics. We're not talking skill. We're not talking competitive. We're talking drive. We're talking just a person that could do shit in the Olympics, a person that could do all this types of stuff, upper echelon athlete. Okay. Now, when you look at these teams, every team has about 5 of these dudes. Okay. The athletes are different today. So
you don't have a cigarette smoker or
you
drink
don't have,
all night kind of
you don't
guy.
have just a tall guy who's like
Eaton.
Yeah, like back into the 2000s, each team would just have a tall guy. Right. And it's just like that dude can't hoop a lick. Right. He's just tall and big. Right. So those guys are gone for the most part out of the league. So I feel like LeBron's competition and that kind of deal, the athletes are a little bit harder than Jordan had to play with in his time. That's
I see your point, but I disagree because then now you're saying that the stars that they had back then.
Oh no, I'm not saying those stars. No. Okay. No, those stars were all upper echelon athletes.
So if we take what you're saying as So, of course, when you're talking about GOAT, there's a lot of different factors, that maybe like 10 things, and that's one of them.
Yeah, I'm just talking pure athletic deal.
But Jordan's still the GOAT.
I disagree.
Yeah,
LeBron's the GOAT. That's a whole nother podcast for another time.
Hot take episode, only LeBron and Jordan talk.
Yes.
And that would be one period of just the whole
get down.
Yeah.
Either way, so we're talking about these fights. So Lakers got into it with the Grizzlies last night. Anthony Davis slung somebody across the court, which it wasn't his fault. It was like he went up, made the shot, and the guy tried to get all up in his face with elbows, and Anthony just was a big dude, just slung him. And the guy like played a little, oh, my nose. It was like when you look at it, like, you didn't even touch your nose. There was also some beef with the Spurs and Oklahoma City last night where they were scuffling, and Wembanyama was like way out here. So like it's like when you're a big brother and the little brother is trying to hit you, and you just do this, and they can't
use your lamp.
Yeah, exactly. And then the big fight last night was the Warriors versus the Timberwolves, where Draymond came flying across the top rope and choked Rudy Gobert after Klay Thompson and I don't even know the other dude's name were getting into it and ripping each other's jerseys. So they were a minute and a half into the game. It was like a hockey fight where there was 3 people ejected. A minute, they came out and threw the gloves down like it was just into
Draymond's going to set a record of getting ejected.
Yes. He's already had...
He's 2 or 3, and it just started.
3 technicals and suspension type deals happen, and we're only month 1 into the season. So we'll see what happens with him. But yay, fights. Yay, fights.
I'm for it, NBA.
Mm-hmm. Back in the day with Lambeer and Barkley punching each other in the face, and then some of those other tall dudes, it was, they worked at UPS in the summers.
I would say just one change, though. Mm-hmm. Teach them how to fight.
Yeah, tall dudes aren't often the most coordinated on the...
You figure they're athletes, they would know their range, because they're like this close and they're like...
Yeah.
Too close.
Yeah, you can always quickly tell in the NBA who grew up playing street ball and who grew up in the gym.
And which player would do that club punch in the nightclub that goes sneaks up on you while you're dancing, bap, and run away. Because then you know Barkley's that dude.
Sneaky bastards.
Yeah.
Sneaky bastards. Oh well. James, when's the last time you've been in a fight?
Shoot, I think it was a fight, not punch and then it's over. But a fight. It was freshman year in high school, which is 1989.
Oh.
Yeah, and then I've stood up to people that and the dude was bigger than me. Was in college. He was just a really big dude from Connecticut. So he was like what 6'5", 6'6", 320 pounds. Big black guy, and nobody messed with him in Connecticut. Then he kept picking on everybody on the team. Made a mistake and put his foot while we were eating, rested his foot on. I said, what the hell are you doing? And then he didn't realize that, oh no, Samoans don't back down. So I stood up, I said, let's go, get your ass up, let's do this. And he was like, oh no, man, no. I went into his face and tried to pick him up, and he's like, no, I'm just playing. So that's what I thought. Welcome, because I am for the streets.
He is for
the streets of the village.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't know the last time I had to throw a punch on somebody, but I've been in a lot of physical altercations, especially when I moved here and I was working at Ocean's nightclub.
Oh,
oh yes. And people looked at me because I wasn't this size then.
You were in shape.
But I was in shape and I had muscles, and people would just be like, "This guy's not backing down from these big Samoan guys. He must be fucking nuts."
Yeah.
And I was. But I never had to throw a punch. I had to choke some people and like they'd be like, "Oh shit, he's strong. He can actually pick and move." And
well, you were a power lifter too.
yeah, exactly. So I know leverage and how to use that to the advantage. But I haven't had to throw a punch probably since college.
I think if I threw a punch now, I would hurt myself.
Yeah,
the back was just like, oh my
shoulder's
shoulder's frozen.
Everything.
Yeah.
These hands are precious.
Yeah.
Oh well.
This is for holding microphones.
Exactly. This has been 808 Hot Takes, folks. Make sure you check out our bonus segment that gives you our football picks.
Yes.
As for James Mane, I'm Pepper the Misunderstood Evil Genius. Thank you for rocking with us. And remember, if you didn't laugh with us today, well, there's something wrong with you. After that, no. How you doing, my man? We're recording something. What's up?
Sorry, brother.
Oh, no.
What's up?
No, I just seen if you guys were interested. One of my vans went down. I do wholesale delivery. So I have a bunch of stuff that my boss let me discount, like Wagyu and stuff. You guys like really good food.
Oh, no, I got
down like to the price of like fresh ahi today.
Oh.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I got
man.
no use for it though. Yeah.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Van went down. I guess this called fall off the truck price. So you caught it here on the podcast. A guy just walking. And here's the worst part. The funny part. It was like a clean-cut white dude. He's trying to sell us stuff that he stole.
The van went down.
This would be on the outtakes,
About to
probably.
get me stolen meat?
I know. I was like, I don't know.
Stolen meat?
Yeah. Thanks, though.
Yeah. When he said you can get it down to the price of ahi, that's why I was like, yeah, I'm out.
Well, not only that, he was wearing slippers.
Ahi's expensive. I'm good. That's
Yeah.
not. And I'm from the hood, so I'm used to the meat man coming with the meat.
Yeah.
Hey man, you want this $20 right now? Here, I got this right there. Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah. They would put it on. You go, try that. Try it. Go ahead, try it.
Look at that. That's fresh. That's fresh blood right there. Look at that.
Only on 808 Hot Takes.
Do you get the meat man walking into a comedy club at noon?
With an aloha shirt.
Yeah, it was like,
And slippers on.
Oh, I'll try the comedy club. There'll be somebody there to buy my meat.
Oh, I just hope my car hasn't been stolen on site.
Yeah. See, that's why you drive old beat up thing like me.
ain't
Ain't
lying,
nobody
you
stealing
ain't
my
lying.
joint at all.
Yeah.
Not interested.
Cowboys, I think we're talking about.
Yes. So, okay. So back,
Dak get the touchdown
Dak-
for your fantasy.